Hey guys, it's Maymay. Have you seen all those cool vintage style paper ornaments that are in all of the fancy home stores nowadays? Yeah, me too. I really love them, but they're pretty expensive. And I want to put them on my Christmas tree. And I thought, what have I got? Paper. So let's make 3 different vintage style ornaments for our Christmas tree. So I'm going to start with a really super simple one. And you're going to think this is like super simple, and it is, but we're going to use a punch to do it. Now, if you have a die that you want to use, you certainly could do that and you would be able to get a bigger ornament. But I just want some little extra pretties, you know what I'm saying? Like just some little filler pieces to put throughout the tree. So I'm going to punch a bunch of stars and then we'll put together this ornament. Also, let me tell you, this is a great way to use up scraps. This is a scrap strip that I had in bin, and I just pulled it out, and look, we'll see how many we can get out of here. I ended up only punching one of those strips because there were so many. Let's pull them over. I kind of just want to do 5 per ornament, but we'll see. Now, again, these are tiny, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Now, this step may be overkill, but I'm going to take those little stars and put it into my scoreboard, and I'm using that line that I draw down the center of my scoreboard to help me find the center here of this little star, and I'm just using the top point and where it juts in the bottom down here as my center. And I'm going to score these guys just so I can get them folded easier. This is a project. The 3 that I'm showing you today are projects that you can very much so customize for your home, for your whatever decor you're trying to match, whatever theme you want to match. Because even though I'm doing these in little white stars, which is what I want some little vintage looking white stars, you could do this in paper that matches your decor theme. Maybe you do holly and berries, maybe you do silver and gold. Be super cute. Now I'm just going to fold this guy in half, and I'm going to line up his little points and then use that score mark to help me get that center point there. There's one. And I don't want these to feel very like professionally manufactured. Does that make sense? Like I want these to feel old, like they've been in an attic. Like I don't want them to feel perfect. I'm just going to play with this and not stress too much if I can keep from it. Honestly, if my grandkids were here, we would probably do this together because it would be really good for kids. Like this would be a fun one for them, and I would get the look I'm looking for, that kind of made a long time ago look. You know what I mean? All right, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to start gluing these guys together. So I'm just going to get my glue, and I'm going to apply glue on one half of the star. Then I'm going to pick up another star and glue those halves together. We're just making a 3-dimensional star is what we're doing. I just think these little tiny paper stars all around the tree will look so delicate and so vintage. And the thing I love about white in your home decor, it pops. The eye really sees it. White, gold, yellow, orange, those colors really pop. And I think just having a bunch of these little guys just hanging around the tree or turn into a garland, wouldn't that be adorable to do a bunch of these guys and turn them into a little garland? I think it'll be so cute. All right, so I've got 3 glued. Let's do the 4th one. And before I put the last one on, I'm going to put a little bit of string in there. Look, they'll stand up too. They'll be cute on a table decor. So I'm going to use, this is Bow Dabber wire. I love this stuff so much. It's gold. It comes in silver. It is wired, so it's super easy to use. I do need to cut that little filament off of there that's hanging. Now I'm just going to take this guy and make a loop like so and tie a knot. Now I'll tell you something about me and my decorating. I do not like a big long hook for an ornament on a tree. In other words, I like my ornaments to basically line up with the branch. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. I'll make that make sense. So when I go to hang this on the tree, I don't really want 3 or 4 inches of string or twine up here to hang this on. I want this guy to hang really close to the branch. I find I do better when I get them really close to the branch. But for these, because I'm using this wired ribbon, I'm going to go a little bit longer than I think I should because I can edit the wired ribbon. I can like twist it around the vine and I can get these right where I want them. All right, so I put glue on that side. Let's go ahead and apply this guy to it. And then we'll put our string in before we close it officially up. If you wanted to make this bigger, it is the same exact process. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy inside here, just like so. Can you see how quickly you can make a bunch of these? Add glue. Put a little glue on the twine itself, on the string itself, and we'll bring this around and sandwich that in. Look how precious. I know it might seem like overkill, but I think these little tiny stars all around the tree will be so pretty, and they're quick to make. I may even make some bigger ones and kind of cluster them, maybe do bigger and smaller, or maybe two bigger. I don't know, but the process is the same. So there is one paper ornament. Now here's another thing. If you really want this to look vintage, you can ink the edges of your star before you do it. I didn't want to do that. I want these guys to really pop. I don't want to knock back the corners. So that's why I didn't. But that is ornament number one. Now, ornament number two is this guy. And mine is very simple, but you will be able to dress this up any way you want. I don't really do glitter and all of that. But I think if you did, adding glitter to where these stars all meet would be beautiful. Let me show you how easy this guy is to make. So I'm going to give you two sizes today, okay? This guy here is a 3x3 square, and this is a 4x4. Now, I have not finished this one. I haven't decorated it or anything, but this is how big the 4x4 turns out. And in comparison to the 3x3, you can see I'm going to do this size for my tree, but this one's beautiful too. It's just a little too big for my narrow trees. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this template, and I'll put photos of these on the blog post so you'll have them, okay? I won't make this one today. I'm going to make this one. You're going to need 5 pieces that are 3x3 square, okay? Now, I've already done the scoring here, so we're going to do it on this one together. Now, I made a template. I like to make a template. I think it makes life easier, so let me show you how to do that. So the first thing I did was I put this guy into my scoreboard. This is my trimmer, but I'm going to use it just for scoring. And I'm going to score along the diagonal. Just like that, okay? Now we have to make a couple of marks. I'm going to move this out of the way to do it. We need to, and I'm going to use this to show you, from that point at the top, that scored mark at the top, we need to measure down 1 3/4 and measure down 1 3/4 on 2 sides. So let's get our ruler. You could also use your cutting mat for this. Just going to place my ruler here, get my pencil, and I'm going to make a mark at 1 3/4. Just like that. Then I'm going to turn it and do the same on this side. So those are my pencil marks. Now what I'm going to do is go back to my scoreboard, and using the score blade, okay, I'm going to line that pencil mark and that bottom corner up. You see that my score mark is still here. So pencil mark and bottom corner, I'm going to score that, and I'm going to score the other one just the same. Now I want to make another score, and that is I want to connect these guys across. So you see this, I'm just going to go just like that. And this is actually a piece we can use in our star. Okay, so you can see that I have all my scored lines here, but to make your template, what you can do is you can color in all your score lines, okay, mark your measurement on there, and then I took my hole punch and did like a half punch where this meets. Do you see that? So then whenever I was making additional ones, and I've got a piece over here, when I would start my next one, put that one in there so we don't get confused. So I have 5 more pieces. I would just line this up like this, take my pencil, and just run through all 5 of them and make my little measure mark real quick. So I don't have to do that measuring every single time. So I like the template idea, and that's a cool way to make things go easier for you. All right, now let's start folding. And you're going to learn this. It's very, very easy, okay? It's very easy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half and crease. Then this score line, the angle here, we're going to fold in. And what I want to do is try to get it to line up with that center line. And full disclosure, some of mine did not, and it's no big deal. But try to. So I'm going to take this one to the middle as well. Try to get it to line up with that center. Then what we want to do is we want to fold this guy in and get him out of the way. That's why we have that score mark. Just like that. Now, this is what you end up with, okay, kind of this point. What I want you to do is open this side up. We're going to take this line, and we're going to fold this over until it matches the center. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm looking at this line, and I'm going to fold it up to the middle. We're doing a little bit of origami, not exactly, but a little. So from here down, I want that to be creased, okay? And I'm going to hold this in all directions so you can see what's left. Do you see that? Okay. This point that's poking up in the air is now going to line up to this bottom point down here. I'll move my finger so it lines up down here. And what you do is you just press this down flat. Just press it. There's another way to do this, and you might be like, Maymay, you're not doing it that way. I'm not, because I'm using very thick cardstock. It worked better for me to do it this way. I got cleaner folds. And then the last thing we're going to do is take this point and we're just going to fold it out. We're just going to push that whole piece out. So you're creating something that kind of looks like a Star Wars symbol at this point. So there's one side. Let's do the other. So we're going to open this guy up. We're going to grab this point and bring it to this point. Okay. So line it up. You'll have to kind of roll your cardstock, get it in there. You want to crease that down. Then this point is going to go to the bottom. So we're going to take it down here. Don't worry too much about your side at this point, because we're going to lay this flat, remember? So just lay that down flat and everything will start to line up. Just like that. Then push this guy back. We're going to leave him flat and push this back and create those little legs. Now it's very simple. This is what you're creating, okay? When you're at this point, you'll fold this guy back in on itself and do another little crease. And that is one of our star pieces. Now let's make 4 more of those. So let's do another one together just in case, okay? So we're going to fold one in the middle. They're very easy to do once you get started. And I will tell you that the original video I saw didn't do all the scoring and the prepping and stuff. I like the scoring because I feel like if I have the tools to make this easier, I'm going to use them to my advantage. So that's why I did the score marks in the template. So fold that one in, fold this one in, crease it down, open it up. We're going to fold that flap upwards, crease it down. And now you don't even have to close this. You're already at this point. Okay. So we're going to take this guy and bring it to there. Bring this guy down. It all works smoothly. And then open him up. Okay. All right. Let's do the other side. So we've got him open. So we're going to bring this point to there. Bring this point down. Flatten everything as we go. Bring this guy up. Super, super easy, okay? If you need to pause that first time and watch it a couple times, I had to do that too. No big deal. We'll fold this guy like this, and now we have 2. All right, let me go make the other 3. And I just realized on this one, we're making 6 points, not 5. So you will need 6 of these. I went, wait a minute, I did this one different. So yeah, this is a 6-point star, not a 5-point. So just make 6 of the same piece. If you don't want to use cardstock for this, you can just use paper. I've actually seen people do it with paper. I even saw somebody do this on YouTube with a toilet paper roll. Like, it was super thick, but it was very vintage. It would be pretty cool. I don't know that I could get them small enough for me for what I'm trying to accomplish. All right, we are ready to assemble. Now, assembly is very easy, okay? You're going to take this guy. This is our piece, okay? And we glue these sides together. So take your glue, put it here, and then you're going to match up that same shape on the other one. So on the side, we're just going to match that up. Just take your time getting that matched up and let each one catch, let the glue catch. This guy just goes together so easy, and I'll show you what we just did. We just glued that little side shape together. So this little guy right here, that little diamond is going to get glued to the next little diamond. So see that little diamond side and this little diamond side, they just get glued straight together. And you're going to do that all the way around with all 6 pieces. If you have some chunky glitter cardstock, wouldn't this be pretty done like that? In that old and kind of the vintage looking chunky glitter. I think that'd be so pretty. All right, we've got one more, and he's going to fit right in here. We're going to glue him on both diamond sides. And this part's a little fiddly. You got to get in there a little bit, but you can do it. Also, if you stamped your cardstock beforehand, like if you wanted it to have a little background, you could totally stamp the plain cardstock. That would be pretty too. There's so many things. Ooh, embossing the cardstock. I haven't tried that, but I bet that would be pretty. All right, so then line them all up all the way around. Get that kind of closed together. Try to get your points lined up. And that is this 6-point star. Now, let me show you how I did my center. I just did this on the back. I just put a little flat piece here. I don't love this. I'm going to change that. I think what'll be cute, we have some doilies in the store, and I think putting a little doily back here would be really cute and feel kind of vintage, even if it kind of showed around the edge, but I think it'll sink right in. And I just glued this to that little piece of cardstock in the back, and then I put a button down because, again, I don't want this to feel overly manufactured. I want it to feel kind of vintage, right? So I'll do the same thing here on this guy. I'll glue one of those little doilies down to the back for decoration. I'll probably glue one on top of here too. And then I'll put a button right here, and that is it. I do recommend that you use hot glue for this part. When you're using a button, especially with those little holes, the glue will seep in and it'll hold it really nice and snug. And when you push that down, do you see how the shape, how it gives it that more point? See how it's open here, but it kind of points up, and it's so pretty. I poked a hole in the top and hung it with a piece of, I'm going to hang it with a piece of that faux dabber wire. Love these. I've got to make about 8 more of these. I only need about 10 for my tree of each of these designs, so not too bad. Not the snowflakes. I mean the stars. I'm going to want a lot more of the stars. All right, one more ornament, and I love this one. I have made this one so many times over the years. I think the first time I saw this was like, I don't know, when I first started my channel, I saw these being made, and I think this one looks very vintage. Let me show you how this works. So you have this bead at the top. You lift this bead, okay, up to your knot, and then you open this guy up. Actually, you're going to close him. We're going to close him down on top of himself like so, and then you pull this bead down, and he closes like this. I was actually talking to Brandy Moore, who was at our Craft Acropolis, and we were talking about cute little ornaments that she could do. And this was one I recommended. I'm like, I want to make those too. So you can check out Brandy Moore's channel. She's Brandy Moore Designs, and also make these little guys because we found these online. I'll link the original tutorial where I found these in the description because Tammy, Stampin' with Tammy, has a free PDF you can use from hers too. But let's make this one together, okay? So here's how it goes. Look, when you want it to be the ornament again, you just pull that string, let it flip around. Let's make it. It's so easy. You're not going to believe how easy it is. I'm using glitter that is white on one side and glitter on the other, and I really think that's pretty. You're going to need 5 3x3 pieces. You guys, you need nothing to make that thing happen, right? So we're going to cut 5 3x3 pieces. Then you're also going to need 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 square. So I'll put this into my trimmer here. 1 1/4 square. So 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Now these two guys we don't need till the end, so we can put them aside. These guys need some scoring done to them. So we're going to use my score blade on here again. We need to score these at 1 1/2, which is the middle. Okay. I'm going to turn it and score it at 1 1/2 again. So we're just making a square in the middle. Then I'm going to turn it and score it on 1 diagonal. You don't need to do both, just one. Just like that. So this is the score lines you're looking for. You have 1 in the middle and then the 2 that make the square. So you want to do that to all 5 of your pieces. Okay, so we're going to do some folding, and it's super easy here, okay? You can fold any line first. It doesn't matter. I start with the diagonal because I kind of line it up and get it corner to corner folded first. Now, did you notice I put the glitter on the inside? I did that on purpose because I want the white to be my star shape and this to be the sides. But if you would like this to show first, let me show you again. If you would like the glitter to show here, then you'll want to have the glitter here and then the white here. What if I do it opposite so you can see the two? I'll do that. That'll be fun. So let me turn this one back then. So that way we can see the difference. You never know. I might like it better that way too. All right. And then we're going to fold our sides, or these are technically the middle, right? So there's one. Let's fold another. Now, the only thing with having the glitter show is we're going to be gluing glitter to glitter, and sometimes that takes longer to dry. So you might want to use sticky tape when you're putting them together like this, but I think this will be fine. I think that art glitter glue works fine. You just have to give it time to dry. Okay, so just run through and get all your lines folded and creased of all 5 of your pieces. All right, so I've got all my lines folded and creased. Now let me show you how we close these up. So the way we're going to do this one is opposite of the way I did the other one. So what I'll do is I'll be pushing my those side diagonal lines down, and my glitter will show on top, okay? The way I did this one, I'll show you, is the opposite. When I close these guys up, you'll see that my glitter is on the inside of this one, and on this one, I have the glitter folded to the outside, okay? So there's one. Let's keep going. We're going to push those sides down and square this guy closed. And I'm seeing that I'm getting a little resistance in the middle. It's no big deal. Get this closed down, and we can always square him up and crease him after we get him closed. So again, we're pushing those diagonals back. See that? They go back on both sides and tucked in. Another thing I think would be really cute here is if you had a bunch of little tiny photos, you printed out some little photos and you put them on the inside. Whenever you open this up, they would show. Wouldn't that be cute? They'd be around the edges. So you kind of look through there and see all the little pictures. That would be cute. All right, so here's what happens next. What you want is you want your open side to the left. We're going to keep it in mind that way. And our closed side to the right. We're going to apply glue. If you've ever used wet glue with glitter, you know you need more, and you're going to have to let it dry longer. You're going to have to hold it there longer, okay? Now we're going to close this guy down and do the same thing. Open side to the left, closed side to the right, and square these on top of each other. That's how we're going to glue them together, right on top of each other. Now, if you're left-handed and you want to do that the opposite way, as long as all of your folds and all of your open points are in the same place, you're fine. Now, I know that's going to take a second to catch, so I'm going to put this on here like this and let that sit and dry while I move on to 2 more. Same thing. Close them up. Open corners to open corners. Close corners to close corners. Square that up. I'm going to take this guy out of here and put this on here and let that sit. So I decided I wanted to try Fabri-Tac here. I have not used Fabri-Tac on glitter before. And I know I have to let my art glitter glue sit a much longer time. I want to see how this does. So just applying the Fabri-Tac there. I'm going to close this guy down. Look how it changed the color of that glitter. Yuck, I don't like that. That's good to know though. And then put this point, close point to open point. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy on and then put this back around and let it sit and dry. I could let it sit and dry while I make another one or something like that, but that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these to dry and we'll come back and assemble. All right, so everything's glued. I'm going to put this back on here. I'm going to let this sit and I can work on another one or what have you. And when this one's dry, we'll come back and put it together. So while that's drying, I've got that holding right there. I'm going to place a little bit of sticky tape diagonally across, just like so, okay? And this is my closed end. That's my open end. I'm going to apply ribbon into that sticky tape. Now, I want to make sure I don't put it so far that it shows when I put my other piece on. So I'm doing that like that, okay? So I've got that one there. I'm going to flip this over. And again, you want to make sure you have closed in, open in. I'm going to put my sticky tape on. Running across that diagonal, cut myself a piece of ribbon. I'm going to put that in to my sticky tape. Again, I don't want it so far down. That may be too far because my little pieces that I cut don't quite go edge to edge. So let's bring that one in a little bit. There we go. Stick that down. And then while this was sitting like this, I went ahead and put sticky tape on the back of these guys. So I'm going to reveal all that and I'll show you how they go. So this little guy's going to go right over our ribbon and sort of hide it. Now, I did this one with the glitter side facing out. On my other one, I did the white side facing out. You can do whatever you want. You can also make this a tag and put it on a gift. Wouldn't that be cute? All right, so let me get the other one on. Sandwich that ribbon in. It holds the ribbon and it cleans up the edge of our little ornament. And I'll tell you something, you can make these bigger. It's the same process. It's just a diagonal score from corner to corner and then half and half. And so you could do this the same. All right, you know what? I'm going to hold this again. I don't want you to see that just yet. I'm going to keep that held down. And now let's put our bead on. These are some beads we have in the store. We have different ones. These are just the ones that I have that have some gold in them that I think will be pretty. This little sparkly one will look good. Put my bead threader in, put my ribbons in, pull them through. Then that'll go down and that will hold your little ornament. You're going to push it all the way down. Okay, that'll hold your little ornament for now. And what we want to do is come down here and just tie a knot in the end of our ribbon. Just big enough to stop your bead when you slide it up. So if you need to double knot it, you can. I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to trim off that edge. All right, you guys, look how pretty this is all by itself with that little bead on it, right? You lift the bead. This guy opens like a little fan. You turn the strings around just like so. And then when we slide the bead down, that's what we get. Isn't that pretty? So here you can see the gold in the middle versus the white in the middle. I still think I'm doing the white. The reason is, number one, it's easier to glue. I don't have to use the Fabri-Tac. And number two, I think this will be prettier facing out. And I think this will catch the light so pretty on the side. And it just reminds me of those vintage ornaments. All right, let's bring over what we've done. We have those. We have this little guy, which I do think you could really dress him up. I think he'd be super cute. And then our tiny little star. I think it is so cute. And you can make so many of these. Can't you see these added to your tree? Now, listen, you could do a whole tree in these. If you have a craft room and you wanted to do your own ornaments for your tree, this is 3 cute little ideas. These are so cute to make and hang on gifts. And then, like, for kids especially, they love the whole flip around situation. It's so super cute. All right, you guys, you know the deal. I want you to make them. I want you to take pictures of them, and I want you to share them with me over on our website at MaymayMadeIt.com or on our Facebook group called Maymay Made It, and so did I. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, bye now.